Have you ever noticed how the most dangerous species in the universe always look so unassuming? Zork asked, his 6 eyes blinking nervously as he peered through the observation glass. Like that one right there. Looks almost harmless. I clicked my mandibles in agreement. Humans. What a disaster they had been for the Galactic Union. Once we discovered their tiny blue world, we thought they'd make excellent additions to our vast interstellar community. Weak bodies, no natural armor, dull teeth, pathetic claws, and absolutely no venom to speak of. How threatening could they possibly be? Very, as it turned out. Catastrophically so. Captain Brule, we have confirmed the specimen is secure, my second-in-command reported, her antennae twitching with anxiety. But I must formally register my objection to keeping it alive at all. Noted, Lieutenant Vex, I replied, my voice gravelly even to my own hearing. The Council wants to study this one. Last of her kind, after all. Vex made a sound somewhere between a snort and a hiss. Last of her kind, because we had to obliterate their entire solar system to contain them. And even then, somehow this one survived. I couldn't argue with that logic. The human extinction had been the most expensive military operation in Galactic Union history. 3 trillion credits, 14 destroyed battlecruisers, and countless lives lost. All to eliminate a species that had only achieved faster than light travel 50 years ago. What's it doing now? I asked, moving closer to the reinforced glass. The human female sat cross-legged on the floor of her containment cell. Red hair fell across her shoulders as she appeared to be sleeping? No, humans closed their eyes when they slept. Hers were open, staring directly at the observation window, directly at me. A cold sensation crawled up my spine plates. Can she see us through the one-way glass? Impossible, Zork replied, though he took an instinctive step back. The room is designed specifically to. The human smiled and waved. All 3 of us jumped backward. Turn off the observation lights, I ordered. Now. Vex scrambled to comply, her claws clicking frantically against the control panel. The lights in our observation room dimmed to darkness, leaving only the glow from the containment cell illuminating our faces. The human's smile widened. She stood up, stretching casually as if waking from a pleasant nap, and walked directly to the glass. For a creature measuring only 170 centimeters, she somehow managed to loom. "Hello there," she said, her voice coming through the speakers with perfect clarity. I was wondering when the captain would show up. "You are the captain, right? The big one with the fancy mandibles and the extra spine ridges? Dead giveaway?" I felt my blood run cold. How is she doing that? The glass is supposed to be. One way? Soundproof? Yeah, that would work on most species, the human interrupted. But we humans, we are special that way. I can see the vibrations in the glass from your voices. As for recognizing you as the captain, well, even alien body language isn't that hard to read once you get the hang of it. "Shut off the audio," I ordered. "Already did, sir," Vex replied, voice trembling. She's reading our mandible movements." The human tapped on the glass. "Let me save you some time. I can still understand everything you are saying. Captain Brule, is it? And Lieutenant Vex? And the nervous one with 6 eyes must be your science officer, Zork. Nice to meet you all. I'm Talia." None of us had spoken our names aloud since entering the observation room. "How does she know this?" Zork whispered, all 6 eyes wide with terror. "The files on our mission are classified." The human Talia laughed. It was a musical sound that somehow made my exoskeleton feel too tight. "I'm going to let you in on a little secret," she said, pressing her 5-fingered hand against the glass. "Humans aren't just another spacefaring species. We are something special, something your kind has never encountered before. That's why you feared us enough to blow up our solar system, isn't it? We should terminate the specimen immediately," Vex hissed in my ear canal. "This is exactly how it started on Outpost 7. Ah yes, Outpost 7. The first Galactic Union research station to capture humans for study. Within 24 hours, all 30 researchers were dead, the humans were gone, and the station's entire weapons cache had vanished along with them. The Council wants her alive, I reminded Vex, though my own survival instincts screamed in agreement with my lieutenant. I can hear you discussing whether to kill me, Talia said casually, examining her fingernails. Typical Vrexian thinking, Lieutenant. Your species always goes straight to elimination when faced with something you don't understand. But Captain Brule here knows better, don't you, Captain? You know the Council needs me alive because they need answers. She turned those unsettling forward-facing eyes directly at me again. It's such a predator feature, those eyes. They need to know how I survived the destruction of Earth. They need to know where the other human survivors went. They need to know why their grand strategy failed. My 3 hearts nearly stopped. Other survivors? Impossible. We monitored the destruction. Nothing escaped. Talia laughed again, louder this time. Oh, Captain, we left long before your armada arrived. Did you really think we wouldn't notice your fleet assembling? Humans have a saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. After what happened at Proxima Centauri, we knew what was coming. I exchanged glances with Vex. The human was bluffing. She had to be. The attack on Earth had been meticulously planned, executed with perfect precision. The specimen is attempting psychological manipulation. Zork offered his scientific training, finally overcoming his fear. Humans are known for their deception tactics. Am I? Talia asked, raising one of those strange fur strips above her eyes. Tell me, Captain Brule, have you checked in with Central Command lately? Or are you maintaining communication silence as per protocol XGRT 779? I felt my mandibles go slack. The protocol designation was correct. We were indeed under communication blackout orders, a standard procedure when transporting high-value specimens. Don't look so surprised, Talia continued. Basic pattern recognition. You capture me, you follow protocol. I have seen it before. But what you should be asking yourselves is this. Why am I telling you all this? Why would the last human supposedly allow herself to be captured? An alarm began to sound, its high-pitched wail filling the observation room. Hey, Captain, we have a security breach in Sector 4. The voice of my security chief blared through my communicator. What? How? I demanded. What kind of breach? Unknown, sir. Systems are malfunctioning ship-wide. Engineering reports the quantum drives are, sir. They are spooling up without authorization. Talia smiled again, that terrifying display of flat teeth that somehow seemed more threatening than the sharpest fangs. Right on schedule, she said. You know, for supposedly advanced species, you are all remarkably predictable. I slammed my claw against the emergency containment button. Knockout gas should have flooded her cell instantly. Nothing happened. Oh, that won't work, Talia said, almost apologetically. I disabled the gas dispensers hours ago. Did you really think these cells were designed to hold humans? We have been escaping from them since your kind first encountered us. Lock down the ship. I ordered into my communicator. All security teams to containment level 3. The human must not escape. Actually, Talia said, walking back to the center of her cell and sitting down again, cross-legged, casual as could be, I'm not going anywhere. This is exactly where I need to be. Another alarm joined the first, this one deeper, more urgent. Hey, Captain, it was my engineering chief this time. Something's overriding our navigation system. How? We are changing course. To where? I demanded, though some part of me already knew the answer. Calculating now, sir. It appears to be, sir. We are heading directly toward Galactic Union headquarters. I turned back to the human, fury and fear battling for dominance in my mind. What have you done? Me? I'm just sitting here, Talia replied with a shrug. But since you asked so nicely, I suppose you could say I'm bait. Bait, Zork repeated, his voice barely audible over the alarms. Did you ever wonder, Talia said, her voice dropping to something almost intimate. Why humans were so interested in your outposts. Your weapons? Your communication networks? Did you think we were just savage warriors looking for better ways to fight? She laughed, but this time there was no humor in it. We were gathering intelligence, learning your weaknesses, mapping your defenses. Every human you captured, every ship you destroyed, every colony you wiped out, we let it happen. We needed you to think you were winning. Impossible, I whispered, though doubt had begun to gnaw at my certainty. Your entire galactic union has existed for what, 10,000 years? Conquered hundreds of worlds? And yet you never encountered a species quite like humans before. Didn't that strike any of you as odd? That suddenly, out of nowhere, appears a species that can match your technology within decades? That can learn your languages in days? That can adapt to any environment you throw at them? The ship lurched beneath our feet as the engines kicked into higher gear. Captain, we can't regain control. My engineering chief's panic was evident even through the communicator. All systems are locked out. It's a virus, Talia explained helpfully. We have been developing it since our first contact with your kind. Every piece of technology you ever recovered from us contained fragments of it, dormant, waiting. Every database you ever scanned, every communication you ever intercepted. By now, it's probably spread throughout your entire network. My mandibles clicked in agitation. If what you are saying is true, why are you telling us this? Why reveal your plan? Talia's expression changed, the smile fading into something harder, colder. Because it doesn't matter if you know. There's nothing you can do to stop it. And because I want you to understand why this is happening. Your union decided our species was too dangerous to exist. You passed judgment without ever trying to understand us, without ever considering that we might have been your greatest allies. She stood again, and despite the reinforced glass between us, despite being surrounded by the most advanced security measures in the galaxy, I found myself taking a step back. I'm not the last human, Captain Brule. I'm just the messenger. And the message is simple. You should have left us alone. The ship's engines roared to full power, and I felt the distinctive lurch of a jump to faster than light speed. The others will be waiting for us when we arrive, Talia said, her voice almost gentle now. One last thing you should know about humans, Captain. We are very, very good at holding grudges. And we never forget those who harm our family. As the alarms continued to blare around us, as my crew frantically tried to regain control of our ship, I realized with perfect clarity that the extinction of humanity had been a lie, and we were the ones who would pay the price. The jump to faster than light speed ended with a sickening lurch that sent me crashing into the observation window. Through the glass, Talia remained perfectly balanced, as if the violent deceleration hadn't affected her at all. Another unnerving reminder of how adaptable humans could be. Captain, you need to see this, Beck said, her voice barely above a whisper. I pulled myself up and looked through the main viewport. My three hearts seemed to stop simultaneously. We hadn't arrived at Galactic Union headquarters as expected. Instead, we hovered at the edge of what appeared to be impossible. What am I looking at? I demanded, though the horrifying truth was already sinking in. A fleet, sir, Zork answered, all 6 of his eyes wide with terror. A human fleet. Hundreds, no, thousands of vessels filled the viewport, arranged in perfect formation around a massive central ship that dwarfed even our largest dreadnoughts. The ships were sleek, predatory, and unmistakably of human design, though far more advanced than anything we'd encountered before. Beautiful, aren't they? Talia asked from her cell, admiring the view. We call the big one in the middle the Vengeance. Appropriate, don't you think? There's no way humans could have built this, I said, struggling to comprehend what I was seeing. Your species only achieved spaceflight a century ago. Talia laughed. Captain, did it never occur to your union that we might have been, shall we say, downplaying our capabilities? Showing you exactly what we wanted you to see? A new voice crackled over our ship's communication system. Human? Male? Galactic Union vessel. This is Admiral Raza of the Human Defense Force. You are carrying a passenger of great importance to us. Prepare to be boarded. Raza, I repeated, the name feeling strange on my mandibles. The terrorist? The one who led the attacks on our outposts in the Cygnus sector. Terrorist? Talia's eyebrows rose. That's an interesting choice of words from someone whose species just attempted genocide. Before I could respond, the ship shuddered as something attached to our hull. They are cutting through the outer defenses, Captain. My security chief shouted through the communicator, multiple breach points. We can't hold them. Talia stood up and stretched casually. Well, it's been fun chatting with you all, but I believe my ride is here. You planned this all along, I said, finally understanding. Getting captured, bringing us here. Give the captain a prize, Talia replied with a wink. Though to be fair, your patrol ship stumbling across my distress beacon was a bit of luck. We'd have found another way if necessary. The door to her cell slid open without any of us touching the controls. How are you doing this? Zork asked, his scientific curiosity momentarily overriding his fear. Our systems are quantum locked. Let's just say humans have a different relationship with technology than your species does, Talia said, stepping out of her cell. We don't just use it, we merge with it. She pulled back her red hair, revealing a small metallic implant at the base of her skull. It pulsed with a soft blue light. A neural interface, she explained. Standard issue for all human operatives now. It lets us communicate with and control compatible systems. And thanks to the virus I mentioned earlier, all your systems are now compatible. The observation room door burst open. 3 humans in sleek combat armor rushed in, weapons raised. Their faces were hidden behind reflective visors, but their movements were fluid, coordinated, nothing like the clumsy gait we'd observed in early human specimens. Commander Preston, one of them said to Talia, Admiral wants you on the Vengeance ASAP. Commander? I repeated, mandibles clicking in surprise. Preston? Gah. Talia or Commander Preston apparently smiled. Did you think I'd give you my real name? Though Talia is what my friends call me, so it wasn't entirely a lie. She turned to her rescue team. Secure the captain and his science officer. The lieutenant too. Admiral Raza will want to speak with them. You can't be serious, Vex hissed, backing against the wall. We are high-ranking officers of the Galactic Union. You have no right to. One of the humans pointed a small device at Vex, a pulse of energy, and my lieutenant collapsed to the floor, unconscious but apparently alive. Anyone else want to debate interstellar rights? Talia asked pleasantly. When neither Zork nor I spoke, she nodded. Good choice. Now, shall we? What do you want from us? I asked as we were escorted through the corridors of my own ship. The bodies of my security team lay stunned or dead along the way I couldn't tell which, and I wasn't sure I wanted to know. From you specifically? Information, Talia replied. From the Galactic Union as a whole. Justice. Yes. We were led to a docking bay where a human shuttle waited. Its design was unlike anything in our database's organic curves blended with sharp angles in a way that seemed to defy conventional engineering. Pretty, isn't it? Talia noted, following my gaze. We call this design philosophy biomimetic integration, taking inspiration from nature but improving upon it, something your union never quite mastered. The journey to the Vengeance took less than 10 minutes, but each second stretched into an eternity of dread. What awaited us on that massive ship? What did humans do to their prisoners? Our intelligence on human behavior was clearly woefully inadequate. The shuttle docked with a gentle thud. When the doors opened, I expected to see a military receiving party, perhaps a formal guard to escort us to cells or interrogation chambers. Instead, we entered what appeared to be a garden. Plants from 1,000 worlds grew in harmonious arrangements throughout a vast atrium. Waterfalls cascaded down rock formations, creating rainbows in the artificial sunlight. Birds and small creatures I recognized from dozens of different planets moved freely through the space. "Welcome to the Vengeance," Talia said, clearly enjoying our confusion. "Not what you expected, I take it?" "This is a warship?" Zork asked, all six eyes darting around in wonder. "It's a colony ship, actually," a new voice answered. A tall human male approached us. His dark skin contrasted with short silver hair, and unlike the armed soldiers, he wore simple clothing, loose-fitting and practical rather than militaristic. "Admiral Raza," Talia said, straightening her posture slightly. "Mission accomplished. The Galactic Union now knows we survived." "Excellent work, Commander Preston," Raza replied, his deep voice surprisingly gentle. He turned to me. "Captain Brule, I presume? I have been looking forward to meeting you." "You have me at a disadvantage," I said stiffly, trying to maintain some dignity despite my circumstances. "Yes, I suppose I do," Raza agreed with a slight smile. "Please, walk with me. Your officers will be well treated, I assure you." As Zork and Vex were led away by human guards, Raza gestured for me to follow him deeper into the garden. Talia fell into step beside us. "You are probably wondering why we have gone to such lengths to bring you here," Raza said as we walked. "Why the elaborate deception? Why we allowed you to believe you'd succeeded in destroying Earth?" The thought had crossed my mind, I admitted. "Tell me, Captain, how much do you know about human history?" The question caught me off guard. The standard intelligence briefings. "Your species evolved on Earth, developed technology rapidly, fought numerous wars amongst yourselves, eventually achieved space travel, colonized your solar system, and then developed faster-than-light capability approximately 50 standard years ago." Raza nodded. "A reasonable summary, though woefully incomplete. What those briefings fail to mention is that humans have been to the stars before." "Impossible," I said automatically. "Our archaeological surveys found no evidence of—" "Of course you didn't," Talia interrupted. "Because we didn't want you to find it." We reached a small clearing in the garden where a holographic display activated at our approach. It showed Earth, not the Earth I knew from intelligence files, but an older version with different continental arrangements. "Approximately 25,000 years ago," Raza explained, "human civilization achieved a technological golden age. We called it many things across different cultures: Atlantis, Lemuria, Hyperborea, but regardless of the name, we achieved wonders, including space travel." The hologram shifted, showing primitive-looking spacecraft leaving Earth. "We established colonies throughout our solar system, and eventually beyond. We encountered other intelligent species. We formed alliances. We fought wars. And then—" The hologram changed again, showing a cataclysmic impact on Earth's surface. Disaster. A rogue planetoid entered our solar system. Despite our technology, we couldn't prevent the collision. Most of Earth's advanced civilization was destroyed. Billions died. Those who survived on Earth were thrust back into a primitive existence. "But the colonies?" I asked, despite myself becoming invested in this tale. "Cut off. Unable to return home. Forced to adapt to their new worlds," Raza said. "Over generations, they changed, evolved. Some became what your union would later classify as entirely different species." The implications hit me like a physical blow. "You are saying that some of the species in the Galactic Union are actually descended from humans?" "Yes," Raza confirmed. "Most have forgotten their origins. Evolution and genetic engineering created new forms better suited to their adopted worlds." "The Praxians?" I asked, thinking of the six-armed philosophers from the Outer Rim. "Human colonists who settled on a high-gravity world," Talia confirmed. "The Zorans, with their photosynthetic skin, adapted for a world with a dim sun," Raza nodded. "Even the Vrexians?" I asked, thinking of Vex's insectoid species. "One of the more extreme adaptations," Raza admitted. "But yes, even they began as human colonists who embraced radical genetic engineering to survive their new home." My head spun with the implications. If this was true, and some part of me already knew it was, then the Galactic Union's attempt to exterminate humanity was far more complicated than simple xenocide. Meanwhile, on Earth, Raza continued, humanity rebuilt. Slowly, painfully, with no memory of what we had once been. When we finally rediscovered space travel and encountered the Galactic Union, we began to piece together our true history. The artifacts, I realized. Your people weren't stealing weapons and technology. You were recovering your own history. Give the captain another prize, Talia said with a smirk. We tried to approach the Union peacefully at first, Raza said, his tone hardening. But your leaders saw only a potential threat. A species advancing too quickly, asking too many questions about ancient technologies and lost colonies. So the Union decided to eliminate the problem, I said, understanding at last. But you knew it was coming. We have been preparing for centuries, Raza confirmed, building ships in secret, establishing hidden colonies beyond Union space. When your armada arrived at Earth, you found exactly what we wanted you to find, a seemingly occupied planet with just enough resistance to make your victory feel complete. The Earth you destroyed was a decoy, Talia added. Automated defenses, hollow cities, and a lot of very convincing holographic projections. Real Earth was evacuated years before. But why reveal yourselves now? I asked. You could have remained hidden, built your strength even further. Raza's expression grew solemn. Because it's time for the Galactic Union to face a truth it has been avoiding for millennia. You are not just fighting humans, Captain Brule. You are fighting your own ancestors. He gestured toward a viewport, and I saw for the first time the true scale of the human fleet. Not hundreds or thousands of ships, but tens of thousands, stretching as far as the eye could see. This message is being broadcast to every corner of Union space as we speak, Raza said. Along with the genetic evidence proving our claims, we are not here to destroy the Union, Captain. We are here to reclaim our place in it. And if the Union refuses? I asked, already knowing the answer. Then we remind them why humans were considered dangerous in the first place, Talia said, her voice cold. Raza gave her a sharp look before turning back to me. What happens next is up to the Union Council. War or reconciliation. Destruction or a new beginning. Either way, humanity will no longer hide in the shadows. He handed me a small device. This contains coordinates to a neutral meeting ground. Bring the council representatives there in 20 standard days. We will negotiate terms. And if I refuse? Raza smiled sadly. You won't. Because deep down, Captain Brule, you understand something that the council does not. What's that? I asked. That we are all human in the end. Some of us just forgot along the way. As I was escorted back to a shuttle that would return me to my ship, now fully functional again and under my control, I contemplated the weight of what I'd learned. The Galactic Union, that ancient and supposedly benevolent organization, had been built on a foundation of forgotten history and lost connections. And now the children of Earth had returned to remind us all where we came from. One last thing, Captain, Talia called as I boarded the shuttle. When you report to the council, remind them of an old human saying. Which is? I asked. Her smile was predatory yet somehow familiar, as if I were looking at a distant reflection of my own species. Blood is thicker than water, but the blood of the covenant is thicker than the blood of the womb. We may be scattered across 1,000 worlds in 1,000 forms, but we are still family. And humans? We always come back for family. As the shuttle doors closed and I began my journey back to Union space, back to a civilization on the brink of transformation, I couldn't help but wonder if perhaps the most dangerous species in the galaxy had been dangerous all along, because, in some ancient genetic memory, we recognized ourselves in them. And nothing is more terrifying than facing your own reflection when you have forgotten what you truly are.